Neither this building nor this bridge are the reason why I'm in Skopje today. The real reason I'm here is that stone bridge over there. Skopje is the capital of North Macedonia, and the stone bridge is considered a symbol of the country. The bridge is said to have been built on Roman foundations. Wiki says the 1400s, but other websites claim a different story. This website, Skopje Guide, says the Ottomans were only repairing and strengthening the bridge in the 1400s. Prior to that, the Byzantines built the bridge in the 6th century AD and was one of the largest and most impressive bridges in the region at that time. It was adorned with marble columns and had 4 arches, each supported by a sturdy pillar. But in fact, the Byzantines were building on Roman foundations, and the original Roman bridge was made of wood? Hang on a minute. The Romans didn't build bridges out of wood. They were known for being master engineers, and I'm quite aware that they built a lot of aqueducts. So I began searching for Roman aqueducts that are still standing today. Just before we look at the list, I thought I'd go back to the original bridge I was standing on, because I did wonder whether that bridge was also old, until I started to look in more detail and found a lot of major flaws. Nothing was flush, it was completely crooked, and I started to feel this second-hand embarrassment, especially when you look over to the stone bridge, which was said to have been built 600 years ago. And it turns out this bridge was built in 2013. And if the stone bridge was built 600 years ago, then the execution of the bridge is incomparable to what we've produced today. I find an article entitled "The Most Remarkable Roman Aqueducts Still Standing." I begin scrolling. The Pont du Gard Aqueduct in France, a 3-decker, Roman. Tarragona Aqueduct, very impressive. The Claudio Aqueduct in Italy, fabulous. Number 4, the Skopje Aqueduct in Macedonia. No way, let's go look at it. Welcome to Shiny Boots. I arrive at the aqueduct, and it's fair to say that it's pretty much in the middle of nowhere. It looks like it's on a farm. That's us leaving Ohrid from my last video. If you haven't seen it, go have a look. And here we now are in the capital of Skopje. And if we zoom in and go north of the centre, we find the aqueduct. I took a taxi to Skopje Aqueduct, and for 30 minutes the taxi driver spoke of the former Yugoslavia and how great it was. He called it the good old days on a couple of occasions, and expressed nostalgia for those times. Nostalgia, from the Greek algos, meaning pain, grief, or distress, described in 1726 as the morbid longing to return to one's home. He compared his former life to his life now, how great everything was because everybody had the same things and there was no competition. No need to be great because everybody's the same. I have no idea what it was like to live in Yugoslavia when it was still a united country. Likewise, we don't really have any idea what it was like during the Roman times. We hear stories about the Romans being brutal, starting many wars, see structures that are still around today built with sophistication and precision. We still quote philosophers from that time period, and they're also known for being quite lavish and having many baths, usually in public. This aqueduct, in fact, is said to have been supplying the water for public baths. Let's learn a little bit about the history. The Skopje Aqueduct, a testament to ancient engineering in Macedonia, by History Tools. The Skopje Aqueduct stands as a remarkable example of ancient Roman engineering. It has 55 arches stretching across 390 metres and has endured for centuries. Skopje in ancient times was known as Skopje and has a rich and complex history that spans several millennia. The Roman Empire's influence on Skopje grew significantly in the 1st century CE. This military presence necessitated the development of a reliable water supply system, which is where the Skopje Aqueduct likely comes into play. The aqueduct's exact construction date remains a topic of debate among scholars. Some argue for a Roman origin in the 1st or 2nd century CE, while others propose a later construction during the Byzantine, I don't know why I have to say it in a French accent, Empire, which was around 500 CE, or even the Ottoman period in the 16th century. So this is the same story as the stone bridge. The use of the arch was a key innovation in Roman architecture, allowing for the creation of longer spans and greater heights. This technique, perfected by Roman engineers, enabled the construction of monumental structures like aqueducts, bridges, and amphitheatres throughout the empire. In addition to the arch, the Skopje Aqueduct showcases the Romans' mastery of hydraulic engineering. The aqueduct was designed to transport water from a distant source, like a spring or river, to the city of Skopje. To achieve this, the structure had to maintain a precise gradient, ensuring that the water flowed at a controlled rate without stagnating or overflowing. Wow, incredible. Recent archaeological investigations have shed light on the aqueduct's water source and distribution system. Excavations near the aqueduct have revealed the remains of settling tanks, which were used to remove sediment and impurities from the water before it entered the main channel. So they already had ways to purify water and ensure that everything was drinkable. Additionally, lead pipes and fountains have been discovered in the vicinity, indicating that the aqueduct supplied water not only for drinking but also for public baths, latrines, and decorative features. Okay, so a latrine is a simple hole in the ground. Do you think the Romans, who were building aqueducts and sanitizing their water, would have been going to the toilet in a simple hole in the ground when they're also building fountains and making them decorative? I have no idea. The aqueduct has its own security guard through this archway here, and that's as far as you can go. I left the aqueduct via a different route, and I ended up at this super dystopian building site. Nothing had been tidied up properly, there's still materials everywhere, and I thought, well, they're in the middle of construction. No, people were living there. Were the Romans just not that lazy? Did they care more about beauty than we do? Did they have more time? Did they have more money? Did they have more resources? Did they have more stamina? Were they stronger? Did they have more vision? There's a stark contrast between where we just were and where we are now. This is brutalism, and that's what we call it now, using exaggeration and distortion to create its effect as of massiveness or power. This just doesn't feel powerful. To me, at least. Does this feel powerful to you? The only root you can find of power, etymologically speaking, is to be able to, ability, or capability. All other definitions of power come later. Are brutalist forms of architecture a demonstration of our ability? Cubes, blocks, concrete that isn't very strong. Is this all we're capable of? The way I see it is there are essentially two definitions of power. The power that you feel and the power that something exerts over you. I would describe this architecture as overbearing, intimidating, all-consuming, ugly. And those definitions are tied in with our modern view of what power is. Synonyms of power along the ability and capability route are competency, strength, energy, impressiveness, mastery. Even in the related searches there on the side, people are looking for beautiful ancient architecture. No one is searching for beautiful brutalist architecture because we know deep down in our hearts that modern architecture isn't beautiful? If brutalism is the best that we've got, what if this wasn't even the best that the ancients had? What about if this was their brutalist equivalent? No one's calling the pyramids a pile of rubbish. And especially not after the recent news that they're even more complex than we originally thought. Nature is powerful, and there's power in beauty. Or maybe that's just the nostalgia talking. Let me know in the comments. If you've enjoyed this video, remember to like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time.